the basement. Kelsey, take it away.
And welcome to Scaredycast. We are coming at you live on YouTube streaming. We are definitely happy for everyone that is in the chat already. For anyone that's listening at home, we are going live every Thursday night, 8 p.m. PST about then. But of course, if you tune into any of Scaredycast channels, join our Discord, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and the TikToks, then you're going to get some updates anytime that we go live.
Dude, we should be paying
We might
her.
even be on Blue Sky soon.
I mean,
What the hell is that?
I'm on Blue Sky.
I'm on Blue Sky.
You're my
The
only
fuck is
follower,
Blue Sky?
Tony.
Hell
and
yeah.
I felt weird the other day. I went to it and I was just scrolling. And you know how on Twitter, like, you have a lot of followers and like people that you're following. But like it was just you, and I was like wanting to like your stuff, but I'm like, I can't like every single one of Tony's Blue Sky. Like, it's fucking weird. Then all my likes are just Tony, and then now
It would have been
like,
appreciated. Nobody likes me.
Hey there,
I'll go and
Mr.
like it.
Blue. That's all I could think of.
Blue
What the
Sky
fuck is Blue Sky?
Blue Sky's new Twitter.
It's new Twitter.
It's the guy that sold Twitter to
Okay.
he
Elon?
that shall not be named.
Oh,
And the muskrat and
muskrat.
Muskrat.
I just came up with that. You guys happy with me?
I like
It was
it.
good. It was good
and
job. Pats for Kelsey.
It's literally just Twitter.
Yeah, it's like old Twitter.
I don't even know how he's able to get away
Like
with
there's
it.
no, you can only post a photo. You can't post videos. The thing I love about it, which I hope they keep.
You can't post videos?
I mean, I'm sure they'll have video on there soon. Like it's super new.
Okay.
The thing that I love though is the only way to join Blue Sky is if you get an invite code from another Blue Sky user.
Yeah.
So like
Could you mass spam it, or is it one code per
it's one code per
activation?
person. Like you can't. So like there's no fucking bots. There's no spam. There's no like people just grabbing usernames and parking them and not using them. Like
And it's also
That's
weird too
kinda
because when
cool.
I was signing up for my username for like my socials is Kelsey Lee _D, but it wouldn't let me have the underscore as a part of it because you can only have just letters and maybe numbers. I don't know. I didn't try numbers, so like it's just now it's like my actual full name. I'm like, well, that doesn't match up with any of my other stuff, but it is nice to have my full name.
Yeah, and then like you're verified. You're like the number. You're number one. You're patient zero.
Number one.
Two is not a winner, and three nobody remembers.
y'all
Y'all remember Nelly? What's Nelly doing, man? I swear to
shaking
God,
he's shaking his tail feather with
I've
Ashanti.
asked what Nelly's up to at least 4 times on this podcast on the history of.
Why don't you
me
look
being
at him?
on-
See
He's
what he's
gonna
doing
be
right
the
now. I'll
one
look it up.
celebrity that Brian like doesn't fuck around to be like.
Everyone
yo,
else like fuck
he's-
you, but like Nelly
yeah,
though.
Nelly's like, oh, that's my
Nelly,
boy,
you
Brian.
out there? You listening? You still got those little Band-Aids on your face? Because that
might.
was hot in early 2000s for some
It
reason.
was just a trend, okay?
trends.
Just letting
There
people
was
Fuck
there was this girl that came in to interview for the Phoenix Suns position, the social media position, and whenever they would have like an initial interview with like our main manager, and then the second interview would be a group one with all of us, so we would all get to like know each other and stuff, and see if like they're gonna be a good fit. And I remember like somebody asked her like what kind of music she likes, and like the first thing she said instantly was like Nelly. Like, right away.
Not even like, oh, hey, what's your favorite artist? It's like, what
It's
kind
just
of music?
All of
Nelly?
us, everybody, like you could, like everybody in the room on the inside was like, "Oh fuck!"
Yeah, like, oh, what kind of music do you listen to? Nelly. Like,
It was like that. It was like
Nelly
Nelly.
music.
That's like asking like, hey, what kind of music do you like? Pussycat Dolls. Like, what? They were. Are they still around?
Honestly, to say like what kind of music
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
is like, if you'd be like, oh, like I like alternative or like rap, like whatever. Then
apparently-
that's like, who's your favorite artist?
What's
And then
Nelly
it's,
doing?
Nelly and either his girlfriend or wife are back together now.
Okay.
Ashanti.
Oh, we know
I
shit.
said that shit.
Did
I said
you?
he was walking around. He's like
Yo, I
messing
gotta-
around with Ashanti again.
I gotta start listening to Kelsey more.
Dude,
Is it weird that if you're
you
like,
both do. You both do.
welcome to Scaredycast,
and
everybody.
you too, everyone out
This
there.
is spooky.
We're talking
talk.
about Nelly.
This should have been on Gossip Girl. God. damn.
It's weird to be like of somebody of Nelly's stature, and when somebody Google searches Nelly in the news, I have to like scroll down and find him.
Dude, Google is fucking up. Did you hear that they're like almost like bankrupt? They're like really struggling.
Google? No way. I don't
Yeah,
believe it.
because they're in this huge lawsuit with their Google ads and like YouTube and stuff, and they were doing shit that's like really super illegal, and it's like a ton of money that they're going to be owing people.
Man.
And that's why like everything that you see that's really hard to navigate Google now because it's all ads at the top because that's like they're trying to like get revenue and shit like that.
Ad revenue.
Welcome to Scaredycast,
Let's talk
everybody.
about scary shit.
Scaredycast.
God damn.
Talking about economics. We're
Fuck.
talking about
Nelly.
We're all
Google
over the
business.
place.
We're talking about Nelly,
Ashanti. Talking about
Ashanti, and Nelly.
TMZ. Hey, do you guys know what TMZ stands for?
Isn't it the media zone?
No.
What is it? Did you find out?
30-mile zone.
What?
Yeah, I had a
Like
trivia.
Hollywood?
I was doing. I think so. I was
that what it
doing. I don't know because I was doing trivia, and every single person got it wrong because they were like, "What does TMZ stand for?" And I was like, "I don't fucking know." So I
We
looked,
literally were just
and it was
talking
like
about
30
this.
mile zone, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Everybody put
Why,
the
though?
media zone. They put all kinds of shit. and
Because
I was like,
I think
had
it's
no
like
fucking clue.
it's probably like that's probably like
That's what I
the area
thought.
of like,
like
Hollywood.
30 Rock. Like it's like 30 Rock. Like I thought it was kind of like a thing like that, but and I was like, wait a minute, it's not in New York. They're in LA. So what the fuck?
It is historically used in the film and television industry to refer to the so-called studio zone, an area with a 30-mile radius centered on the intersection of Beverly Boulevard. Yeah, so it's just like where all the studios are. They're all within 30 miles of each other, I guess.
I was close.
go.
Yeah.
I didn't hit it exactly, but I was close to the target.
Dude, I remember I used to live in California and I would see like, you know, the water tower and stuff and the studios and just be like, oh man, I want to be there.
Welcome to Scaredycast, everybody.
Welcome to
God damn
Scaredycast, where Tony talks about how he had hopes and dreams one time. And
You haven't watched any? Have you been watching any horror movies?
let me tell y'all something. I have not watched any horror movies, but
Here we go.
holy
Let's fucking talk about this.
shit.
Let's
Did
go.
you watch it?
I have been on this like almost kind of it's like this love-hate relationship with like these really crazy fucking documentaries because they
Yeah.
make you feel so shitty afterwards when you watch them.
What?
But
Why?
they're so intriguing. Like that I've just been really I feel like I'm like I don't know, there's something wrong with me cuz like I will like hone in on like something and then I'm like all about it.
Like
so
Tiger
I've been
King?
watching these crazy documentaries. So I watched The Strange Case of Natalia Grace, the Arnie Hammer one. I watched like the Duggar family. Like I've been watching all of these ones.
Okay, let me ask you a question
It's
because I
crazy.
need this.
Yes.
Do any of them that you watch match The Curious Case of Natalia Grace? Because
This
I'm
blew
like, I
to
need
Tony's
more.
mind. Yeah.
Dude,
I mean, they're all good in their own way, but this one I think had more questions for me than answers
my God,
once I
yeah.
was like done watching because it's only a 3-parter.
and it's recent.
Yeah, it's,
Like the most recent trial shit was just this March.
all I can say is like fuck that family.
Dude,
Fuck that family so hard.
so this past Friday night, I got like 3 hours of sleep. I fell asleep at 7 in the morning.
Tell us
then
why, Tony. Why did you only get 3 hours?
I just
of
couldn't
sleep?
sleep.
It's because you were down that Russian media path.
Oh, that's right. That's when like the Russian coup was happening. So I was like,
Oh yeah. Whatever came
He was
out of
filling
that.
us in. I was like,
they
what
fucking
happened?
like decided they're just gonna leave. Like they just changed their mind.
Damn it! So
The
Putin's still
mercenaries?
alive?
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, so
See.
I got like 3 hours of sleep, and then we drove an hour north for Spooky Shops, and we were at that for 12 hours. We get home, it's like midnight. I'm fucking exhausted, but I'm like in that place in my mind still where I'm awake, you know?
Like you're still like kind of like
Yeah.
winding down.
So I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch a little TV for a little bit, then I'm gonna go to bed. Let me see what this Natalia Grace show's all about. I'm not
wrong thing to
exaggerating,
do.
dude. I got 1 fucking minute in, and my brain was just like, guess what, dude? You're watching all this shit tonight.
Dude. Whoever created it, like the editors and the producers, like did a fucking fantastic job. It like makes you be like, what the fuck? And then like, so after the first episode, you're like, oh yeah, for sure, it's this way.
Yeah.
And then the second, or like towards the end, then you're like, what? And then you have to watch the next one because you're like, wait a second,
My
like
God.
that's not how I thought about it at all.
I'll tell y'all about it.
How long is
Should
it?
we spoil a little bit, like spoil what happens in it, really? But like,
Yeah, for sure.
because I mean, it's
I
still
mean, people,
dead, like
you got to watch it still because there's still so many questions.
so many. So essentially, what it looks like on the surface
The
is
episode's
this.
hour long.
There's 6 episodes.
6?
Yeah.
6 hours? You watched 6 hours
I
straight?
watched
Okay, I'm a
all
fucking idiot.
6
Tony,
episodes.
6
goddamn.
episodes.
Yeah.
God. The Arnie Hammer one is 3 episodes.
I get up at 6. I go to bed at 6 in the morning, and my wife is like, "You all right? What are you?" I'm like, "This fucking show, man."
I was watching something good.
She said, "You all right?" Natalia Grace.
the
What?
sun. I mean, the sun's out and everything, and I'm coming to bed. On the surface, the show is about this family. They adopt a little girl, but wait, she has dwarfism, and there's some things going on where she might not be a little girl. She might be an adult.
They're saying that she's 6 years old
Mm.
from
Six?
the Ukraine.
How dwarf are we talking?
Well, I mean, she's like
super.
Yeah,
Like I was gonna say, I feel like you could tell. Like,
It wasn't like a general dwarf. Like her legs are like bent outwards, almost like she's like really like
Yeah,
got
she's
some
like a really special
disfiguring going on.
Okay.
I mean, okay, but you look at her. Anyways, I'll keep it. I'll tell you what I think when.
And then like so, the first episode is like it ends with like the mom is like getting them ready for like bed or something, and Natalia just took a bath and is getting out, and her mom like accidentally like walked in or something and saw she had pubic hair and was like, "What the fuck is this? Like, what do you mean you like you're supposed to be like 6 years old?" So then like that episode ends, you're like, "Oh shit, she might be an adult." What?
Also, you can get your pubic hair, like obviously not that young, but
Yeah.
okay, whatever. She's coming from another country. If she has
Yeah.
pubic hair, I mean, that happens all the time that people lie about like the age of adoptive children to be able to get them adopted easier. Because someone's not going to adopt a teenager with dwarfism, you know?
Okay, that is trippy. That's
Yeah.
trippy.
I mean, but you can definitely, anyways, okay.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And
Is
then,
there a
like-
way? I'm sorry. Is there a way we can show a picture to people so they can see what you look like, or just Google what's her name?
Natalia Grace.
Natalia Grace. This is on Max.
I'll
I could
send
show
you
you
this.
guys, but I don't have a way to.
Okay. Well, either way,
It's
as long
fine,
as
don't worry
yeah,
about
you
it.
guys
I'll
should
send you
look
a
that
link
up.
to-
She look. I was gonna say like, oh come on, I could tell a 6 year, and then you're like, oh,
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
whoa. Okay, that's trippy.
And then the next episode is about how like she's talking about wanting to kill the other kids. There's three brothers and his family. There's three boys. They're all like two of them like the same age. The other one's a little bit. The other one is older than her, and he has autism. And it's like
Asperger's, right?
it's like he's a genius,
Genius.
like genius level at math and shit. Like it's nuts. And then so like this little girl starts telling like she's telling the parents like I want to kill you, like I want to murder you guys, like that kind of shit. Like she's taking the knives from the kitchen.
Allegedly.
She's taking the knives from the kitchen, hiding them under her bed. The dad wakes up in the middle of the night and she's standing at the foot of the bed holding a fucking knife.
Also, she's literally like this big. Like,
He
she's 40
It's like,
pounds.
it's like kicking a pillow off the bed. I'd just be like, dunk, like a squishmallow.
I mean, you're asleep though.
Oh, I thought you said he woke up to her.
I mean, he
at the
did,
edge
but
of the
maybe
bed.
you don't wake up.
I will punt a 22-year-old dwarf woman.
All right. Wait, though. He goes into her room one night, and she's just standing in the middle of the room. He's like, "What are you doing?" And she says, "I'm waiting for you to go to bed." Like, it was just
She's
straight
the
up.
worst serial killer ever.
Yeah, just straight up, I'm going to murder you people. So
Jesus.
it's like, she's doing like crazy. They're saying like she's doing crazy shit, like stealing the Hot Wheel cars from the brothers. And then when they go on family walks, she like chucks it out in the middle of the road. So the kid will go running out in the middle of the fucking road when the car's coming. Like she's doing crazy shit like this. Yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. And then, like, God, I'm trying to remember. There's so fucking much that happens on the show. Like, this is, we ain't even gotten started yet. Like, this is like essentially what they preview in the first minute of the show. And you're like, holy shit, what the fuck? And then they start getting into the crazier shit. Like, I forget what even happens next
like too
from
much.
that.
So it basically like each episode almost like flip flops of like what the previous episode led you to believe. So the first one is like painting Natalia to like not be the age that she is, way older, like doing all these crazy things, like families in fear, all this stuff. Then at the end, then it's like saying something about like a doctor or someone that like was able to prove that she was like a child. And then, so then the next one kind of gives perspective of like these people that were defending her and like saying like, yeah, maybe she was older than what she was, but like she wasn't like, you know, this monster that they were doing. So it like kind of just takes you down this journey of like, it's like the pendulum swinging each episode. And every time like things get crazier and crazier and crazier. And then too, eventually, so you get back to, so which I don't know why, but the dad did an interview like I guess a few years ago, like 2019 or 2018 or 19 or something. And then like there's like one that's like more recent. And some of the stuff that he says doesn't really match
This
up.
dad is
He's
so
insane.
over the fucking top
He's
insane too.
insane.
Like,
Wait, so you watched this whole thing, and so did you?
Yes.
Okay.
I binged it over like 2 days.
Oh, okay. And you
I
just
didn't
went.
do like all one night, but like
Yeah,
about, like,
you
2
went
days.
straight for it.
Yeah.
Okay, I was wondering because you were asking as if like you didn't see the rest. That's why I was wondering.
No, because it's like so much happens, and it's like I said, like at the beginning, it's like you still don't really have answers. Like you have like your opinion, but like you still feel like a lot of stuff isn't being said. And
Yeah.
at one point, so the son that was like this genius, this family who I guess had like would bring in like all these like adoptive kids or whatever. So like they would bring in all these adoptive kids. They got like Natalia Grace, added her to her family. And then the son was like doing like these tours of like his like genius tours, like doing TEDx talks and stuff like that. So they're like profiting off of him. And then they're saying like the family's like scared about this. Like Natalia tried to like, they said that she was dragging the mom. Like they went on this outing.
This is where it all kind of fell apart for me.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Whoa.
what?
They
Like,
go like they're trying to keep their family together. So like it had gotten to where the mom like wasn't doing anything with it. Like they couldn't have Natalia around the boys because she was like straight up like, I'm gonna murder them. I'm gonna murder you guys. Like fuck you guys. And then they're like, let's go to a dairy farm for family outing. It's like, you weirdos. Like, all right. And then so Natalia,
it's one of the
like,
son's birthdays,
she
and they're
apparently
like,
like starts freaking out about her feet hurting and refuses to stand up and get off the grass. And like the mom is like,
yeah, because she can't really move that well.
the mom is like, I'm gonna stay here with her. You guys go do your thing. We're not gonna let anything ruin our day, you know. And then like the dad starts talking about how they get like up the hill and they start hear screaming and stuff. So he comes running back down and he says that he sees Natalia, the little tiny person,
It looks like
big.
she's walking on her knees.
dragging.
She can't. If you physically see her walk too, like she cannot move.
Like, she waddles
yeah,
kinda?
like it's like,
Like a
it's
pivot?
like hard for her to do anything.
She's dragging the mom over to the electric fence, screaming, I'm going to fucking kill you today. And that's where it fell apart for me because, like, I've been on dairy farms. I've accidentally touched these fences. No one's going to fucking die.
And also,
Like, you're going to get, like, whoa, jolted, like, a lot, but you're not going to die.
okay, so he says that, but then like then there's inconsistencies with him saying like, oh, like I saw her do that, or like, oh, I heard screams, but then I was like, well, she's probably okay.
Yeah,
and
later
I didn't
on-
actually see anything.
Later on in the show, they do a new interview with him. Like, because, like, a majority of all this is from his perspective.
yeah, because
and,
he's
like,
an idiot to fucking even.
He was
talk to
interviewed
everybody.
back in like 2021 about it or something, and then like there's this newer interviews with him about it, and they don't match up
At all.
Like the dairy farm went from like he hears screaming, he runs back down, sees them fighting, to they're up there, they hear police sirens, they come back down, and Natalia's already gone, and the mom is in an ambulance, and it's like, well, you just told
No,
two
they
different
put
fucking
Natalia
stories.
in the ambulance
Oh,
because
like
yeah, for whatever reason.
he's telling two different stories and shit, like shit's not
Yeah.
matching up. And then so Natalia goes to a mental hospital after this, and apparently is like
saying like sexual stuff to
sexual shit to
people.
all the doctors and everything. And like even the mental hospital calls the families like,
She's
you gotta
saying
get the
some
fuck out of
crazy
here. She's
shit.
crazy.
Yeah, like she's saying some crazy shit.
Yeah. So the
Like,
family is like, we're just gonna get you an apartment because like the family at this point, like fully believes this is an adult.
Okay.
Like they get the paperwork. They're like, look, she was born in 1989. She's a fucking adult. We've been bamboozled.
yeah, they get like a doctor to like sign off on it, or like some kind of agency
Yeah.
person, really off of no proof. Like they're just like saying like, hey, like we think she's this age.
How do you
and blah, blah,
test
blah.
for age? Honestly,
You can't like, I mean,
chop her down,
I
count
don't
her
know.
rings.
and also like, I mean, there was no, the whole thing is like all over the place because she's from Ukraine, and like the adoption agency was like really being like shady about stuff, like and all this stuff. And then so so she gets an apartment, and then they basically just leave her to fend on her own. They'll maybe come stop by once a
kid.
week or every
Or-
2 weeks.
Natalia.
The kid adult, whatever. And that's what it is. Like this documentary is like it's ebbing and flowing of like, was she a child? Was she an adult? Like all this stuff.
Oh,
And so they basically leave her alone. Like no one fucking comes to visit her. Like once a week or once every other week, they'll drop groceries off. But the neighbors are saying all this stuff of like, she's like dirty all the time. Like, you know, she's like doesn't change and all this stuff. And then like she'll wait for us to get home, and then she runs and like just won't leave us alone, which is very childlike behavior.
They would
by the
say
way.
like at first when she first got there, she was like super nice and cool and everything. But then she would just do shit where she would just walk into your house.
Which is like such a kid thing to do.
Yeah, like she would
I
just
mean,
show
that's a
up like,
child.
and like go into your fridge and like
wait. So she
Yes.
got out of the mental hospital,
yeah.
And
She's
then they
back
just-
at home, and now she's like going into.
No, they put her
No.
in like another city in like a little like
They
in like
just
an apartment.
relocate her. What
Yeah,
the
they just put her in an
fuck?
apartment by
Yes.
herself to live
But
for a
she's
year.
still
Yes.
apparently a 6-year-old. This is fucking weird.
According to the family and the doctor and their certificate that they got, she is an adult at this point.
Wow.
So they have her in this apartment. They come by every once in a while, just drop off some food and shit, but like they
She's
literally
just
don't
there.
help her. Yeah.
And then they show like snippets of them like trying to talk to her. And like throughout this whole thing too, like it'll show snippets of like the mom recording and being like, you told me this, why did you lie? And like all these things. And then you're like, this is kind of like borderline weird. And then it'll show again like the dad like recording themselves as like being like, you told the neighbor this, or like she would have like, they got to the point where she had a caseworker because people are like, that's not an adult. Like, this
abusing
is
the
a fucking
kid.
kid. Like,
Oh
yeah.
my
So it's like
God.
all these fucking things coming from all these ways. And the dad and like the parents are recording themselves, like saying all these things and being so accusatory. And then you know how like someone acts like when like they know, like, you know, they're like, and she's like, okay, like, yeah, like, I don't know, or like whatever,
Yeah.
like, you know. So it's like this, like, you're like, what the fuck is going on here?
Like she's apprehensive, kind of, and you're
yeah,
like,
and
wait
like
a minute.
just kind of like going along, like just being like, yeah, like okay, like just trying to like just be like, you know, as like under the radar as possible.
yeah.
It's fucked up. It's fucked up.
So there is a resolution.
No.
Yeah. Well, kind of.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, kind of. So, like, since she's going in these people's homes and stuff, this is like a little tiny apartment community,
Okay.
like townhomes kind of thing.
Okay.
Everybody in this place is like, you need to get, she cannot be here. So the apartment complex does not renew her lease. They let the family know, like, hey, you got to move her somewhere. The family is moving to Canada because the oldest boy is being like brought into a college, like based on like off of like some kind of scholarship thing.
Sure.
Based on just how smart he is. Like this kid's super, like this is the most like,
Genius.
yeah, like one of like, there's so many shitty things that happen in this fucking episode, but like the one thing that like doesn't get brought up is like this fucking kid's life is destroyed. He's like got this, he's got autism, and he's like a genius at math. Like he's only 14, he's already being brought into colleges and shit. He's doing like TED Talks. And then when they skip ahead to present day, he's like living in his dad's fucking basement, like just like he looks like almost like homeless and shit. Like he's just like fucking
Why did
broken.
that ruin his career?
Because so much shit happens
the
with
back and
him
forth,
and
like,
like
the parents.
the parents. Like these fucking parents are insane.
Insane.
Okay,
Insane.
so
So
not
after,
only-
so they don't hang on. They don't renew the lease. The apartment company's
Sure.
like, we're not renewing the lease. You need to get her out of here.
Sure.
They put her in Lafayette, something like
Missouri or
Indiana,
something.
like the worst
It's like the worst part
ghetto,
of like Indiana.
crime-ridden, shitty part of the city.
And this family has money.
In a second-floor apartment. Yeah, they have like he has like a Lamborghini,
like Lamborghini.
and shit.
They
like,
have like
Oh.
a huge house.
Yeah.
Left that
like,
part out, yeah.
Yeah, they
put her
have
in
a lot
like,
of money.
and remember, she can barely fucking walk. They put her in a second floor apartment in this house.
She's also 22, and the fact that there's any jurisdiction that they have over her is still weird to me.
Well, yeah, the fact that they are even continue, like, you know what I mean? Like, if they
Yeah,
truly believe she's
let her
22,
go.
Well,
if they truly, that's why I think it's like they knew that she wasn't actually 22. They wanted to get her off of their case. Like, they were like, fuck this. Like, we don't want to care for her anymore.
so
Which
she
is
like
child
shows up to
abuse.
her neighbor's house one day and is like, "Can I have a sandwich? I don't have any food." Turns out her power has been shut off for like 3 days. She's just been living in fucking darkness with no food. And then she goes fucking missing. Like nobody can find
forgot
her.
about this.
There's like a week goes by. She was apparently going to some school to get a GED, and the school calls like the parents. Everybody like, "Hey, do you know where this girl's at? She hasn't been coming. Like she's just missing." Turns out this random lady found her, like just walking down the road and like checked on her and stuff, and like told her what's going on. And the lady's like, "You're coming to live with me."
Yeah, because she was like walking to this corner store where she's like, there's drug dealers, like people get like
Yeah.
murdered and stolen all the time. She's tiny, like she clearly is not able to take care of herself. Like she's like, and she was like, this is a child, like you know what I mean? Like she's like, this is like someone that cannot take care of themselves. Like,
Yeah.
You guys ever see that SpongeBob episode where Gary runs away?
meow.
And the old lady, she's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, Miss Tuftsy, you're coming home with me." That's what I just imagined. Like she just has this little girl. She's like, "Come on, Miss Tuftsy."
So this lady, like this prompts the police to obviously get involved. And then so there's one detective, he comes on. This lady has basically been like, she's going to come live with me. And the lady's like super nice. She's taking care of her and everything seems fucking... I mean, at first, just based on the backstory, it's like, oh, this looks fucking weird. I don't know about this. But then it's like, oh, she legitimately is taking care of this person.
And then she was like, and then, you know, everything that she had to say, she was like, Natalia was great. Like, you know, she was like...
Yeah.
She just was, you know, she just needed love and like just being cared for and like all this stuff. And then the family's trying to say she's trying to steal her checks and like all this stuff, which is like, yo, but you guys were the ones getting the checks. Cause like she went, and since she's an adult, she was like, yo, you're getting these checks. Like, okay, well, you need to get them then. And so she went and like got it like changed so it would actually go to Natalia. So it's like, how is the family even getting that?
Weird.
Like, you know what I mean? Like the whole thing, like that family deserves to rot, or well, the parents deserve to rot in fucking hell. And then it gets to a point,
especially.
the mom.
Really, I thought the dad was the problem.
Well, I mean, he is because
We
he was
still
complacent.
ain't even gotten to the craziest shit.
Yes, yes.
Fucking-
You guys need to watch it because we're not even doing it justice. Of
No,
like
not at
what
all.
is happening.
And obviously the police get involved, detectives get involved, and the main thing is like, is this a person? Is this an adult or is this a little kid? Like this, there's what the fuck? We find out because they fucking track down her mom who lives in Ukraine.
How the... Okay.
And this is like, so this is super recent because this is like when like bombings start happening and stuff.
Yeah,
and,
this was
so her
like
stuff is going
2 or
in and
3
out.
years ago. So it wasn't very long. It was like 2020 when this part happened. They find the mom. The mom essentially was like, I didn't even know she was still alive. Because whenever she gave birth, she had like dwarfism and like a severe case of like dwarfism. Like her legs are all fucked up. And the doctors
Like she's not
basically
gonna live.
told the mom, like, she's not going to fucking live. Like, don't bring her home. Leave her at the hospital.
That's
You know,
fucked
like
up.
whatever.
Yeah.
So like she stays at the hospital, mom goes home, she lives, and they put her into like the adoption centers and shit.
Yeah.
But she
And
lives.
yeah.
Oh yeah, she's alive now.
Right.
And then the mom, they get the mom's birth certificate. The mom, spoilers kind of. Get ready.
Hold on, everybody. Earmuffs.
Here
if
we
you don't wanna
go.
hear spoilers.
The mom's birth year, 1979.
So 10 years old.
Yeah, so they're trying to say she was 11, like 9 when like she gave birth to like this
What?
thing. Yeah.
How did they know that? Oh my God.
So it turns
right.
out Natalia's birth year was 2003. She was a child.
Get the fuck out. No way.
So they were putting like a 9-year-old in an apartment by herself and shit.
She what?
I mean, think about all of it. Like even the neighbors, like, so I felt kind of bad, like, because they would interview some of the neighbors and they're like, she was so weird, blah, blah, blah. But then when like you're thinking about it, they're like, she's dirty and she doesn't clean herself and like she's wearing the same clothes and she's waiting for us to get home and then she'll like stalk us and whatever. I'm like, that is what a child does when she thinks that you're friends. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and if you don't have a parent at home to say like, hey, you need to be home, or like, hey, you can't be like bothering the neighbors all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that is a child, like, and especially a child with dwarfism. And then so then as you get further and further into the documentary, then like you find out that the parents are divorced or they're going through a divorce. And so it's like really bad. And so now they're like, and now because they're getting now they have criminal charges against them for child abuse. The mom is in Canada, like fucking like doing whatever, but like the dad is here. So he's the one getting the brunt of it. So now they're like going against each other saying like, well, he abused her. And like, no, well, you're the one that abused her. And like, you were the one like lying.
There's a part
My
the
God.
whole part. The way I found this was because there's a TikTok going around of the dad, like a clip of the dad, where he's like, "My wife would abuse her and beat her, and like, I'll just show
terrible.
you." And he's like,
It's the worst thing ever.
"I need a camera pointed to the ground," and like he reenacts this like very like.
He's like on all fours on the ground.
And he gets on the ground, like where they're doing the interview, and he starts like punching the floor as hard as he can, like elbowing it and shit. He's like, that's how it was. Then he's like, ow. It's like, dude, you could have just told us. Like, you'd have to punch your living room floor.
This whole thing sounds like such a fucking train
Oh my
wreck.
God. It's-
What
It
a
is.
mess.
It is.
There's
But
a
it's done
part
so
where
well.
like the older brother's the only one of the brothers interviewed. The other brothers had nothing
Like,
to do with
fuck
this.
off, yeah.
Because I think the older brother lives with the dad. The 2 other brothers live with the mom. And the mom and the other brothers have nothing to do with this documentary.
Fuck, and because they're in Canada, they got away with it, basically?
Well,
like they have
I'm
immunity?
sure they'll
Well-
be extradited.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
'Cause they're
So like the older
undergoing
brother,
the course. Or
there's
the
a part
case
where
stuff.
the older brother's like talking about the fucking
court stuff.
abuse and shit.
Yeah.
And he's like, he just stops talking. He's like,
He's like, I need a
want to.
break.
He's like, I don't really want to talk about the rest. He's like, yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
And he's like, I need a break. And then
And even like it got kind of weird too, like because the producer's in the room and you hear the producer kind of like trying to egg him on to talk about it. And it's like, that's weird, lady. Leave him alone. He doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want to talk about it.
well, that's what a producer does.
The episode
what an
ends,
interviewer
and
does.
then boom, title card comes up, and it's like he forgot to turn off his microphone, and he goes in the other fucking room. They got the camera kind of down, like the camera's just sitting. You see him go up the stairs in the other room. You hear him and his dad start talking, and he starts saying like, "I didn't tell them about kicking her down the stairs."
He's like, I didn't want to say the stairs thing and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, like, what did you tell him? And like, he's like, well, I said what like we went over and like all this stuff. So like the dad is like coaching him about what to say because he's corroborating a lot of the story and saying that he was so scared. He was so scared of Natalia. And like, he has to like, now like he can't even have a drink unless he sees it, like someone making it, like, you know, all these things. Cause he thinks she's going to poison them and all this stuff. And then like, yeah. And then he's like, oh my God. And then he's like, oh my God, I'm an idiot. And then they start kind of looking down the stairs and he's like doing something with his microphone.
Yeah.
And then at that time, then the producer's like, hey, you almost ready? Like trying to pretend like they haven't been at the bottom of the stairs listening to this whole fucking thing. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Then
But yeah,
there's
so,
like,
I have so much anxiety.
and then also, okay, sorry.
go.
I was going to say like how it ends.
Oh, what?
Like just with like what they can't say, like that she was a child and like all this stuff and like
Yeah.
the court thing.
So the court, like they basically have to go to trial for
Move your phone, Tony, because guess
basically
what?
like, oh, kitty cat.
Kitty coming in. Benji time.
They go to trial because they're going to be arrested for like neglect of a child.
Mm-hmm.
But then it turns out they can't use the age thing in court.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
It is fucking crazy. Like
It was proven that she was the age, like maybe not the exact age that she was saying, but like just only a couple years older.
So
She was a child.
because of the court, because of the trial, because of the divorce and everything, the dad is given access to the mom's Facebook messages.
Oh, it's discovery. Yeah, for the lawyers, it's discovery. And that shit, oh my God, I forgot about all this.
This is like my favorite part. The dad starts talking about how his wife was talking to some dude on Facebook. They were hooking up, having sex and shit.
Oh my God.
And then like he's like, I just want to know who this guy. I wish I knew who it was. And then the camera cuts. And this music starts playing, this rock music, like this generic rock music starts going, I'm a ladies man, down, down, down. And like this van pulls up to like this shitty ass house. Both the doors of this van fly open, and a little guy comes out. He's like 2.5 feet tall, maybe. He's like a dwarf. He's got crutches. He's in a little scooter. And he's just talking about how, like, yeah, this chick, she's like said she was adopting a daughter. She had dwarfism, and she just started talking to me on Facebook. Want to know if like I had any advice for her, and then we just started hooking up.
I think I fell asleep during that part because I really do not remember that part at all. I had to fall asleep. That's the best part of this. I missed it.
What in the...
Bro, it's
Dude,
crazy. Like, you
then
have to watch it. Like, it's fucking crazy.
Then we get to like he's talking about some other shit goes on, rewinds to him, and then he starts talking about how the mom was like, I want to set you up on a date with my daughter. And this fucking guy's like,
Oh my God.
no, you fucking weirdo. Like, that's disgusting. What's wrong with you? Like, he like shut that shit down. So it's like, all right, good job, dude. Like,
Yeah, nice.
He's the hero of this.
oh my God. And then the whole fucking thing ends. Like, the trial goes on. I won't tell you what happens with the dad in the trial. The dad had his own separate trial, and the mom had her own separate trial. The mom's was not thrown out, but what is it like when the court like just
dismissed.
dismissed?
Yeah.
And this was just back in March, so it's like
Wait,
was
but
just a
this
couple months
isn't
ago.
part of the documentary, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought the last part was like them, like his lawyers, like writing on the thing, and then it ends there. Like they're like writing on the whiteboard.
No, man,
What the fuck?
No, man.
you didn't watch the whole show.
What? I'm like, it's 3
No.
episodes long.
Yeah, you missed a lot.
Wait.
So like the little guy, like the mom was sleeping with, he's like, you don't know what is going to happen. Like you're kind of alluding. It starts getting alluded to that the dad sexually assaulted Natalia.
Oh,
That's what it starts getting to. Like it starts getting to like the mom was like forcing this to happen, kind of thing.
wait, how did she have pubes?
Well, I mean, a
We
child can
don't-
get
yeah,
pubes
like-
as young as like 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
And with like her coming from the Ukraine and like just having like her
Probably
butt
extra
like disfigured and everything, like who knows?
Like hormones
We're
probably
just
might
like,
play
oh, she's a mess. We don't care about that.
Yeah. But it starts
Doesn't
alluding to
matter if
that.
she got pubes because she was a child. Doesn't
And
matter.
then so like apparently the mom talked to this little dude she was talking to about the dad and Natalia. And like the producers are talking to the dad, they're like, we have to show this on the show. Like, we have to show you this. Like the clip of like the dad's like denying it, and they're gonna show the clip of this guy like being like, yeah, the dad.
No.
The dad's like holding the laptop. And he's like, how many pieces do you want this back? Like, and they're like, please don't break my laptop, like, dude. And then so like the little dude basically starts talking like, yes, he messaged me one time talking about how the dad was, and like he's like that gets cut off right there. And like the dad's like standing up. He's like, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. And then the show fucking ends there. And you're like, what the what? Like,
Okay.
that's where the show fucking ends.
Wait, you're serious?
I'm serious.
You watched
I must
6
be in-
hours just to get that? Like it's like The Sopranos all over again.
I mean, there's
just cuts mid sentence and it's it.
He died.
essentially, I mean,
He's dead.
Yeah,
Look.
what the fuck?
the dad's trial. You do find out if he's guilty, not guilty. You do find out if she's an adult or a kid. The mom's trial is dismissed. So there is like an ending there, but there's so much more information out there. That's why later this summer, they already announced that part 2 is coming out, and it's The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. Natalia Speaks. And it's
They got her.
all her side of
Oh my
everything.
god.
Dude, yeah, because like literally every single thing that they're saying like just does not make sense. And then too, so they were saying that Natalia obviously was speaking very suggestively, like, you know, saying sexual things.
Yeah.
And now proving that she was a child, it's like, well, how does she know the like, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
like she should, like, you know, usually children, especially that talk like that, usually something happened. Not saying that it was the dad, like whatever, maybe something
But
happened.
like,
Like
she
another
knows
time.
that because trauma, because normal
Yeah.
kids don't have to deal with
yeah,
that.
and then there was, and then
Or normally kids don't have to deal with that.
and so what was the Benji's loving Tony right now, and then
Smells all my other cats.
and then so what was like the tipping point too for like when she was in that initial apartment by herself was that she was playing with one of the kids, and they were like rolling down the hill or whatever, like a hill of grass, and then she goes over to like take his like pants off or whatever, but like so then there so like the apartment people are thinking, oh, she's an adult because they don't know any better and like think she's being a weirdo.
Yeah.
But like for a child to do that, like, yeah. So okay, so it must have been like where I got to the point of when they were done, and I thought that was it, and it was over. But then there was like another
Sounds
episode
like
that
you
came
only
out
watched
later.
the first 5.
Yeah, so I must have
Yeah.
just missed the last one because I was like, oh, it was like then the trial was starting, and then I didn't see that.
Yeah, they go through the trial.
Dude, that makes me really mad that the mom's was dismissed because she's whatever her role is, she
I
was
mean,
the
who
driver
knows?
of it.
Yeah. I mean, after like this new shit comes out, because I mean, this is still going on. So
I just feel bad for her. Like, you mean like not like for Natalia.
Yeah.
Like, because not only did she have to go through such a traumatic thing, and like obviously it's just horrible, like that, you know, she was supposed to come into America and like have this great life, and this family did have the means to be able to give her that life. But like she went through hell, and then like literally the documentary, it bashes on like these people are no bars holds like of like how they're talking about her. Like it's like everyone
Against Natalia? Or-
against her. Like
Oh.
it is really bad.
So it looks like it's like they're trying to criminalize her. Like she's not victimized, but like
yeah, they're like she's a fucking weirdo,
Like
and she's always
this one,
dirty,
look
and like
at
she
her.
was and she was
Wow.
touching kids and talking sexually, and she was just blah blah blah. And then yeah, like you're not the only time that you're seeing Natalia is like when she's talking to like a caseworker or whatever, and like they're asking her like what happened, and she'd be like, I don't know. Like she'd be like, I don't know why they're like trying to say all this stuff about me, and like that didn't happen, or like it was like this or whatever. Like it's real bad.
wow. So where can you watch that? Like, is it on
think
like
it's-
Amazon, YouTube, Netflix?
Is it HBO
where?
or Hulu?
HBO.
it's on Max.
Max.
HBO Max.
Yes.
So
oh, I just
if-
call it HBO.
Or yeah, now I think it's called Max. Yeah. So
Fuck
if you
that. That's the stupidest. That's the stupidest rebrand in the fucking world. There's literally old people like calling their like
Where's
their
my
children to be
HBO?
like,
Yeah.
"What happened to my HBO app? You need to come
It's
fix
called
my thing.
Max
I got
now.
deleted."
Why would
It's
they just leave it
Max.
as HBO?
I know.
Or
I don't
just
know.
have like HBO Max, like
Home box office.
you
HBO.
go.
That's what
On
you are.
on
It is-
top of that,
It is one of the strongest brands that you have, HBO. Like it hasn't changed for ages and ages and ages. Everyone knows what HBO is.
Yeah.
Even
Why
if
would you
couldn't
change it to
afford
the name of something else?
but you know what?
So people are like, is it Cinemax?
Oh,
No,
yeah,
it's just
right.
Max.
Remember Stars? Stars was like DirecTV. Was that somehow affiliated with them too? Like,
No.
who knows? Oh, okay. Regardless,
Brian,
yes.
It's not the same.
You know what
try.
really puts the sandpaper to my pussy? When you have to pay for a streaming service and you still get ads. That is fucking illegal. Like
Hulu?
yes, Max. I literally did it last night. I was watching Harry Potter 1 and it fucking like 12 different times throughout the movie. We'll
Really?
be right back. Played a couple commercials and we're back.
On Max?
Oh, I've never seen that
I
before.
don't think Max had ads. I thought it was
That's
just like-
crazy.
Just at the
I
beginning
don't
of
know.
like things coming up, but
Hulu.
like not like throughout the shows.
Yeah, but like I'm just like, how is that legal, man? Bullshit.
Brian has Nax. It's not Max. It's a fucking some
Nax.
knockoff. Like
That's why everything was in like Taiwanese.
Harry Potter
I
with
couldn't-
one
yeah.
T. Harry
Yeah.
Potter.
Harry Potter was black, and it just didn't make any sense. I was like, this looks a little different.
This isn't the Harry Potter I know.
Yeah, I was playing ads for like weird ramen.
But yeah, you guys watch this Natalia Gray shit. It's fucking nuts. We did not do it
Seriously.
just all. There's so much
No.
more that goes on in this shit. Like,
It's wild. Also, another wild one that I watched recently, like I've been referencing, the Army Hammer documentary. It is pretty crazy.
Really?
It's pretty because I had no idea that he was from a billionaire's fam. Like he was a billionaire.
It's
like
always the rich ones you gotta watch
the
out
shit
for.
that they were doing, and it's not even just him. It was like it went back to his like great grandpa or something. Like
How
that's
wild
how far
is
back
that?
like the weirdest shit, like the weird shit went.
Why is it always the rich? The richest people do the most fucked up shit.
I'll tell you why.
Tell me.
Because they just have such unlimited and unboundless wealth that they do everything and have everything, and everyone always says yes to them and all this stuff. So they're bored. And so what do? They have to like get off on like the like fucking craziest shit because they have maxed out on every single other
I
like
see.
regular thing. And because they have so much money, they control legal people, they control like they have all the
Media,
power, like
politicians,
literally everything.
businesses.
Like
Yeah.
that's exactly why.
Wow, that's crazy.
Take it to the bank and smoke
all
it.
right,
And smoke it.
well, let's get out of here, y'all. What do you think?
All right. Yes. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Tony, where can people find us? And actually, next weekend,
Oh, hey there.
hi.
Hi.
Next weekend, we're going to be where?
Mad Monster.
July 7th through July 9th. If you're going to be at Mad Monster, Arizona, you will see us there probably. We're going to be running around all weekend doing silly goose stuff. I might get a tattoo.
Another tattoo?
I might get another one.
Which, let's get an update for the one that you
So
have
this
right
one's
now.
still kind of itchy.
But
I
it's
had
not red
I had
anymore.
a reaction to the bandage that was on it. You can still kind of see a little bit of a red circle there, but it's fine. I know what my next one's going to be already, so we good to go.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to get a little cartoon pizza on my leg. And then later on, I'm going to add a UFO beaming the pizza up.
Ooh.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
That's
I like
Scaredycon.
Yeah. And then you can go to scaredycast.com and you can find all of our shit. You can join us on patreon.com/scaredycast. We can support the show, get some free stickers, get some free merch. And you never know what else you might get free. You might get some free ghost hunting equipment. Who knows?
Plus the bonus podcasts are on there as well.
Bonus
And on top
podcasts.
of that, I just want to say a quick little message.
Oh.
What if I
Yes?
just got on one knee and like right in front of Kelsey? What would you do, dude?
Oh my God. I would
Oh
start
my- I'm like-
crying. I'd be so happy.
No, she's gonna be like, no,
Oh.
break my fucking heart. I just wanted to see what your reaction was. Look at her. No, I just wanted to
That's
say
like-
though, for everybody that is listening or whatever, please, if you can't, obviously like subscribe to the Patreon. If whatever, that's cool. Like it's totally okay. Thank you for supporting us at all. But please either like drop a review or like a rating on whatever you're listening to this on, whatever platform. Please tell someone about it. Like help us keep growing this podcast because we just want to keep doing this bigger and better. And
Even
yeah.
if it's a bad rating.
yeah, we don't give
Give
a
us one
shit.
star.
Give us
Like,
one
that's
star and
cool.
tell us to go fuck ourselves.
So
Yes.
yo, I haven't seen a taint this whole time,
Damn.
and I'm mad.
I come to Scaredycast for taints.
Yeah.
And
Me
there
too.
was
And guess what?
And
I've never
this
seen one
this
yet.
taint it.
completely taintless.
I
that was
came for
good.
the tainty.
If you were closer, I'd high five you. Anyways, please and thank you for supporting the podcast because we want to do this forever. And other podcasts are big, and we want to be too.
Yeah.
So please.
We want to be the next.
Thanks.
We want to
Dang.
be the next Scaredycast because guess what? Ain't no others like us.
Dang.
We
Yeah,
just
that's
want
right.
to be on the next
Yeah.
level. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Scaredycast.com. We will be not seeing you here next week. We probably will be live streaming from
sure.
Mad Monster.
from Mad Monster. There's gonna be a lot of great stuff happening. But yeah, like Brian said and like Tony said, we appreciate all of that you guys do. Every little thing helps us, even just a like on our platform. So thank you guys so much. We will be seeing you guys from Mad Monster.
next week.
Bye.